time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, the star of his own show 5 times a week on this very network, Mr. Robert Q. Lewis.
Thank you, Dorothy. To my left, one of the delights of appearing on What's My Line, another of the delights, a lady who wears her heart not on her sleeve, but on her ears and around her neck, Miss Arlene Francis.
And on my left, a gentleman whose Encyclopedia of Modern America Humor, Encyclopedia of Modern American Humor. There, you got it twice because I didn't say it quite right the first time. Anyway, it is 700 pages of the very funniest writing there is, and it is romping through the bestseller list, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
Thank you, Arlene. Ladies and gentlemen, if you saw John Dailey masterminding all the superstars on the Overseas Press Club show, Dateline, on Monday night, you'll understand why we're so very proud of him on this show. And on Christmas Eve, you'll get a chance to see him and his family at home on Ed Murrow's Person to Person. Meanwhile, here he is to do a little panel moderating, John Charles Dailey.
Thank you, Betty. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. We're up to our old tricks, and I think we've got some pretty good tricks to play on the panel tonight. Time will tell, however, and a bit later on, we'll have a famous guest challenger before the panel. But to get things started, I think it's time that our experts here met our first challenger whose line has to be spotted. Will you sign in, please, ma'am?
Lily, Lisand, Wieland, is that right?
Where are you from?
I'm from Geneva, Switzerland, originally.
Geneva, Switzerland, originally? Mm-hmm. Where are you now living, residing?
I'm living in New York now.
In New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice for New York.
Thank you.
And this will be very nice for the panel, too. They would like to get a better look at you. So would you take a hike down there, please?
Miss Whelan, you're going to have a lot of conferences with Mr. Dailey tonight.
We might have a little conference later.
Down, boy, down, boy.
All right, Miss Whelan, over here, if you will, and sit down next to me. And as you may know, the panel's going to get one chance right out of the blue to tell what it is you do. So we begin those free guesses, as we call them, with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she tests mistletoe.
Wow. Mr. Lewis.
I hope she did. This girl is obviously responsible for the change in the Swiss Alps. There are no longer yodels. There are now wolf calls.
Miss Francis.
I think that Miss Whelan works at the United Nations.
Mr. Cerf.
I think Miss Whelan demonstrates the Swiss movement.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Miss Whelan. At the same time, we will tell them what her line is. But the panel's going to have to dig. All right. Miss Whelan, do you know how we score this operation? Every time you give them a no answer, I flip a card. 10 flips, and you've won the game. Yes, well. Miss Whelan is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Miss Wheeland, are you seen by people in what you do?
Yes.
And does your beauty have any bearing on your job? Is it a help?
Yes.
No.
Well, I don't think it has.
Or was it
any
a help in
direct-
getting the job?
Oh, now, take it away. This was a marginal area, Dorothy, but I don't think it has any direct application to the performance of the job itself. That's
I'll
one down and
register
9 to go,
my
Mr.
complaint
Lewis.
Would we be safe in assuming that you perform a service, Miss Whelan?
Yes, sir.
Is this a service that perhaps you might perform for both sexes?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Only for 1-6, eh?
Oh, dear.
Well, I hope for the gentleman on the panel that your performance is for the male sex, is it?
Yes.
Now then. Do you teach them anything?
No.
Is there any instruction attached to your work? No.
No, not instruction or teaching as such. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Whalen, do you work indoors most of the time?
Yes, sir.
Do you demonstrate anything?
Yes?
Could be described as demonstration, yes.
Would you say you took some product and showed people how it worked, possibly?
Yes?
Yes, could be as a sort of a general part of her duties.
Would this product be any article of household furniture?
Yes, sir.
It
Could
would.
be, yeah. I would say the service here is more important than the issue of product.
Well, does the service have anything? Do you do your service standing up?
Sometimes.
Only sometimes? Is the object that you demonstrate sometimes used possibly for reclining purposes?
We have to have a conference.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Only 10 seconds left, John.
You know what reclining is, John.
Wow, I feel yours younger already. We'll give you a yes on that, Mr. Cerf.
Would this be some kind, Miss Whelan, of a couch or bed or collapsible, something like that?
Now I got to have a conference again.
About a couch or a bed or...
Seems like the most straightforward question I've ever asked.
Yeah.
I would say that there's a very broad area here from which we might choose things, but I think that in this instance we would be correct in saying that this particular kind of product would not be involved. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, would the entranced gentlemen on the panel, Mr. Cerf and Mr. Lewis, be ever likely to engage Miss Whelan's services?
Yes,
sir.
Would they ever do it around Christmas time?
Yes?
Would they be particularly likely to do it around Christmas time?
Yes?
Would you ever have occasion to lead gentlemen by the hand from the nighties to the bracelets to various things that they might be interested in purchasing?
Yes.
Are you something like a gift counselor or a personal shopper or someone who takes them around the department stores?
Very good.
Miss Lily is indeed a Christmas shopper for men only at Saks Fifth Avenue, if you'd like to know, Robert, and I guess that's what...
my...
I thought you had your arm up for something.
May I tell Miss Whelan that the Random House office is just 1 block from Saks Fifth Avenue?
Now, actually, this is, of course, a Christmas job, and Miss Lily is studying acting. She's been in New York only 6 months, and she's going to be a great actress one of these days. Meantime, she's making Christmas much brighter for a great many people. Yes, Robert?
I should be delighted to trade services with Miss Whelan. If she will help me with my shopping, I should be more than happy to help her with her acting.
Oh, brother. All right, Mr. Lee says you come on in and sit down. Then you're on your own. From then on, I cut you loose. Well, Mr. Lee, thank you very much for being our guest. Hope you had fun. You were a good guest on What's My Line. All right, panel. Very good beginning. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, ma'am?
Molly Kesselman, is that right? Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs. Kesselman, and where are you from?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida. Well, it's nice to see you up here so close to the holiday season and all, you know. And would you be willing to take another small trip and let the panel get a better look at you, please? Yes. Thanks.
Mrs. Kesselman?
Hello, Miss Kesselman.
Hi, Miss Cassie. Nice to see you.
All right, Mrs. Kesselman, if you'll come over here, please, and sit down next to me. We'll give the panel the standard free guess at what it is you might do, and we always begin those free guesses with Dorothy Kilgallen.
I think Mrs. Kesselman wraps gift alligators.
Gift alligators. Mr. Lewis.
I think Mrs. Kesselman designs costume jewelry.
Miss Francis.
I think Mrs. Kesselman has one of those chicken-in-the-basket restaurants in Miami.
Mr. Cerf.
I think Mrs. Kesselman is the first lady highlight player at the fronton down there.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mrs. Kesselman. At the same time, we'll tell them what her line is, but the panel, as usual, is going to have to dig it out. All right, Mrs. Kesselman, you know how we score, do you? Good. Mrs. Kesselman is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Robert Q. Lewis.
Miss Kesselman, do you perhaps perform a service?
Yes.
Is this a service that is, unlike our first guest this evening, rendered to both sexes?
Both sexes.
Would we come to you to have those services performed?
Yes.
Do you work indoors?
Yes.
Would we be relatively made happier as a result of having come in contact? We would not, would we, be made...
No.
No.
Boing! One down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you, by any chance, work for a non-profit-making organization, Mrs. Kesselman?
Yes.
Would you say that you work for some arm of the law?
Yes.
Would you be associated in any way with the police division of the law?
Yes.
Would you be a lady policewoman?
No.
Not
Would
a
you be a
lady-
lady policewoman? 2 positives make a negative.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, you're not a policewoman. Does that mean that you perform your services somewhere within the confines of a courthouse, Mrs. Kesselman?
No.
Wait a minute. Let me have a small conference.
Or jail? I'll lay it at jail.
Why, they have no jails in Miami.
Well, they ought to.
On a technicality, we're going to rule you out on that, old boy.
thank
It's a
you very
lovely
much.
technicality, though. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen. It's not a court per se.
It isn't a court per se.
No, not Passaic. This is Miami, Florida.
What did you ask, Bennett?
If she worked in a court.
In a
Hardly
courthouse.
And I was ruled out on a technicality.
But you do work indoors.
Yes.
I may assume that you're not a traffic policeman.
No.
Yes, you may assume that
Or a
Mrs.
motorcycle policeman.
Kesselman is...
No. Do you work in a place where people come to have something in their fate decided?
In their face decided?
In their fate decided, in a way, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It does have something to do with discipline?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have anything to do with punishment?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are people ever locked up where you are? Even temporarily?
Sometimes.
I don't want to see her.
Are there any cells where you are?
No.
Not cells at all?
What do you call them?
Rooms.
Hotel.
Hotels are going...
Motel. It's a motel.
Cell tells. Well, now, Miss Kesselman...
You're so close to this one, I thought you'd have it now.
Excuse me, John. May I go ahead?
Yeah, I'm sorry. about
It just seems to me that we have so much here. Now, you are part of a disciplinary group that has something to do with violations of some sort, and yet you do not work in a court, so we are safe in assuming that you are not a judge or a dispenser of justice.
Yes, you're right in assuming...
Are you then, in any sense, connected with the result of the dispensation of justice? In other words, would I have to see you... Would I have to see... Can I have a conference with you? Would I have to see you so that I would fulfill the obligation I had to the judge or to the community before I could get out of where you were?
I think you'll never get out.
In other words, would I have to perhaps pay you some money?
Yes.
Yes.
Why did it take so long?
Well, then,
That's it.
you
fines.
collect fines.
That's
Right.
right. Collect fines. Well, I must say, we can't let you come all the way from Miami and just flip 4 cards, so we'll flip a few more. Missed all but one, but that's right. Actually, Mrs. Kesselman collects traffic fines, and, you know, it's not one who makes people happier by what she does. It's good to have you up here with us.
Thank you. And could I just say thanks to Chief Headley, Captain Allen, and Mr. Rickstraw for letting me come down.
Chief
Or rather-
Headley, Captain Allen, and Mr. Rickstraw,
How about
thanks
Mr.
have been
Myers?
duly offered.
Beg pardon?
How about Mr. Myers, the city...
That's Miami Beach.
That's my
Mine
please,
is
Bennett.
separate.
Thank you
Oh,
very
boy,
much,
you're
Miss
welcome.
Kesselman. Nice to have you there. All right, in just a moment, we'll meet tonight's Miss. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends in the panel are blindfolded. The blindfolds are all in place, are they, panel?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we always get right down to the general questioning, which we will have to test the talents of Mr. Bennett Cerf with tonight.
Well, there was a lot of cheering when you came in, sir, and Willie Mays is down playing winter baseball. Can I assume that you're a denizen of the show world?
That's very possible.
Very masculine. I take it you are a gent.
Without a doubt.
Have you ever seen your face reproduced on the motion picture screen?
Occasionally I've seen it there, yes.
You have. Would you be considered of star caliber?
I thought so.
Don't you still think so, sir?
Not lately.
Not lately? Haven't you made a picture within the last year? Have you made a picture within the last year?
Exactly.
Exactly. You mean just one? Would this be a picture that is currently showing on Broadway?
They got it here someplace. I don't know where they got it, but they got it here someplace.
Well, I know there's a big passel of stars here from No Business Like Show Business. Would this be the picture that you starred in?
I got starred in lots of pictures.
Were you in this one?
I haven't read.
I didn't get that.
I didn't read the paper.
But should you have been starred in this one? In your opinion?
In my opinion, it's possible, but your opinion is different.
Let's see. There's Dan Dailey, Donald O'Connor, and Johnny Ray. Are you one of those three distinguished gents?
Well, if you put it that way, don't give me much choice. I gotta say, I guess.
Well, you're not Johnny Ray, and I don't think you're Donald O'Connor, but I'm going to give you to Dorothy as a Christmas present. I pass.
Oh, stop, Bennett.
It's Jack Pearl.
Must be O'Connor.
Jack Pearl.
No, it's Dailey.
It's, Bennett, if I guess this, do I have to pay you the dollar?
Sure, you guessed one already. Wait a minute, it could be Ethel Merman, you know.
Oh, no.
Well, do you dance? That isn't going to be much help, is it?
Yes?
Do you sing?
Can I pass?
All right. Are you Donald O'Connor?
No! One down and 9 to go, Mr. Lewis.
I dare you not to guess.
Yeah, I have no idea at all. And it is the holiday season, so I pass to Arlene.
Well, I'm going to take you for that Christmas present, even though Bennett's known all the time it's Dan Dailey.
Dan Dailey's right.
it's a little unfair, you know. You had the last name before you started.
You did that. But I must say,
What part of Ireland do you come from?
down somewhere near Killarney, I
Oh, we
believe.
come from around Limerick.
Limerick? Oh, I stayed in Limerick one night when I was going over to Europe.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
No.
yes, I did
Oh,
this
isn't that
now.
interesting?
Don't get John started on his limericks. I
Oh,
warn
really?
you.
Oh, no, that's too bad. But we, actually, Bennett, you get great credit for this because everybody's talking about there's no business like show business.
That's right.
And it's that much better picture because you're in it. Thank you. Good to have you with us. Will you say all right to the panel? Thanks a lot.
Your impersonations were terribly good.
All right. Let's see what we can do with another challenger panel. We just have enough time to give you a real run through the ringer. Will you sign in, please, sir? Stephen C. Le Sauvage, right? We haven't got too much time, so if you will tell me where you're from.
Garden City, Long Island.
Garden City, Long Island. Now, you look at the panel, because we're going to dispense with the walk down. Panel, you take a look at Mr. Sauvage, and you come with me, will you?
Very pleasant.
And you sit yourself right down there, and we'll give the panel very quickly that free guest they've got coming to them. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a chef.
A chef, Mr. Lewis.
I think he's with the UN, the French delegation.
With the UN?
Le Sauvage.
Miss Francis.
I think Monsieur Le Sauvage tames wild animals.
Ah, Mr. Cerf.
I think Monsieur Le Sauvage has something to do with the Doubleday plant in Garden City.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Stephen Le Sauvage, and at the same time we'll tell them what his line is, but panel has to work. All right. You know how we score this thing, Mr. Le Sauvage?
Yes, sir.
All right, fine. Then we'll just start things rolling with the simple announcement that Mr. Le Sauvage is salaried. And suppose we start things rolling with Arlene Francis.
Monsieur, do you, have you a product in your work? Is there a
Yes.
product? Is it a useful product?
Yes.
Is it found in the home?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr.
Too
Cerf.
big, eh?
Mr. Le Sauvage, judging by that abrupt answer, would I be correct in assuming that this product may at one time or even now be alive?
No, it is not alive.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is it something you wouldn't want in your home on a bet?
That's
Not on a bet.
Is it bigger than a telephone booth?
Yes.
Is it other than a telephone booth?
Yes.
Is it useful?
Yes.
Is it more useful than attractive or pleasant or fun?
Sometimes, I'd say.
Yes, sometimes.
Is it usually found on the ground?
Usually not.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Lewis.
This is a rather large product, not found in the home or on the ground. It's
Yes.
been found in another media. Is it perhaps found in the water?
Yes.
It is found in the water, and it is a pleasurable product.
Yes.
And it is a fairly large product.
Yes.
Is it self-propelled?
Yes.
Could is this something that I would very much someday hope to own so I can
Yes.
go fishing on it?
He would, eh? Yeah, you'd like to own
Well,
one.
then, is it a boat?
Yes.
Is it a boat? Is it a power boat? Well, what do I have to do now?
How big?
Oh, how big? Well, 35, 40-footer. You sell Chris Craft or some boat of that nature?
No.
No,
4
we do
down
have a
and
free
6 to go,
Chris
Miss
Craft in the
Francis.
morning.
You'll have a free Chris Craft. That's true. It's
hope
a
so.
power boat, and it's not a yacht, is it, of any kind?
No, it's
No,
not a
it's
yacht.
not a yacht.
Ooh.
Yes, it is not a yacht. Mhm.
Is it a army boat of any kind?
Navy.
No.
Navy? Well, Army has boats.
Oh, actually, we've run out of time. I'm sorry, sweetie, we've run out of time. I think maybe you've got it. We'll flip all the cards, but actually, Mr. Le Sauvage is a broker. He buys and sells ocean liners.
Oh, no.
Oh! Thank you very much, sir. Very busy. That's right. This is good to see. We'll be back in... Now, until next week, and I'll bet she's glad she doesn't have to go back to Cleveland anymore, it's time for me to say good night, Dorothy.
Good night, John, and may I just take a moment to tell Arlene that the only kind of boats that the Army has are dream boats.
Good night, Dorothy. Merry Christmas, incidentally, and good night, Arlene, and merry to you all.
Thank you very much. That was nice, Dorothy. No wonder I thought of it. Good night, Bennett.
Arlene, if Mr. LeSurprise is still in the back, I'm going to buy you the Queen Elizabeth. Good night, John.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.